let's play a little round of No Fence Riders. Dustin is now in the fold with the No Fence Riders.
Oh,
so
great.
We can't have a split. We can have even because we have 8 people voting now.
Wow.
So most of these were darn near a split.
Really?
Only one was unanimous. And I'm sure you guys can guess which one it was, but we'll get to that in a sec. The first one we had, though, will Deshaun Watson throw for at least 251 yards against the Cowboys? This was a 3-5 split. The 3 who said yes, Earl, G, and Jay Crawford.
Ooh. Okay.
How'd you come up with 251, Mike?
That's
It felt
probably
like
the
the
betting
right
over.
number.
Is that the betting over?
It wasn't. It just felt like the right number where it was high enough that it wouldn't be.
Do you know what the
too
betting
high.
number is?
I can tell you in 1 sec.
Yeah. I thought you took it off the line, to be honest.
I'm guessing the line might even be lower than that.
I think the line will be lower than that. It
Yeah.
should be lower than that.
You know how many times?
His 221 on FanDuel.
Yeah. And I would easily take the over on that.
You know how many times he's thrown for 251 yards
I
in
know.
his first game of the season?
No, since he's been a Brown.
No, well, just in his career.
No.
The amount of times he surpassed 251 yards in
None.
his first game, 2.
Really?
And one was 253.
Wow.
So
Okay.
So I just the fact that he typically doesn't play great his first game of the season.
Okay.
He hasn't played in forever. He
Facing good defense.
facing
Now,
a good defense.
you're on the no
hasn't
side,
had
too.
a ton of reps.
I'm on the no. Yeah, I'm not expecting him to play great in week 1.
You're not.
I think he'll get better as the season goes along, but I don't expect him to play great. I'm not saying he's going to play bad. I'm just saying I'm expecting kind of a decent game from him, but not over 251.
That's fair.
I just looked at it. Somebody said in the chat, and I did confirm it on Instagram. Deshaun Watson, I think either his dad passed away. He said, "Rest in peace, Pops." His dad passed away. He put that on his Instagram page. So,
What day?
huh?
What day was that?
Today,
Today.
like 39 minutes.
Okay, now we've said all along, no excuses. No excuses. We didn't factor this in. Now, we don't know for sure it's his father. It might be someone that he called Pops.
Someone called. Someone.
I mean,
called
typically,
him, so-
if you put on your social page,
Yeah.
R.I.P. Pops,
yeah. So,
does that give him a built-in excuse?
I kind of like. I don't like to mix the two.
Yeah.
I just condolences. It's tough losing
sure.
people and comparing it to the game.
Do we know what kind of relationship he had with his father? I don't.
I know. Anytime you lose somebody, you got a heavy heart. So, but I've seen people come out and play inspired.
Didn't Brett Favre throw like
Brett Favre went absolutely
Yeah.
nuts
Yeah.
at prime time.
And we've seen the opposite side of the spectrum.
We
where
have.
It's impossible.
And
to
you know
predict
what?
how
That's
someone will
that's
respond.
human nature, man. I
Everybody
know,
handles that
thinking
differently.
back
Brett
to my
Favre
own
wasn't that
father's
upset
passing,
because he was too busy stealing money from the state of Missouri.
Mississippi.
Not back then.
Not that?
I wouldn't have. I mean, look, everybody responds differently. I've seen, I watch Dateline on NBC, and a lot of times the cops will say, "Well, I knew they did it because they weren't crying." Well, not everybody cries when their spouse is killed, so everybody reacts
devastated.
differently.
You're just like,
and I'll tell you, I have been on the no excuse train. I think you've been the conductor. I've been the caboose, but I've been waving the no excuse flags. In fact, if I'm going to dub this season anything, it's the no excuse tour. However,
If his dad died.
if this is true,
Yeah.
and you have said you've confirmed it on Instagram, I will give him a sliding scale for
agree.
what we expect from him on
agree.
Sunday. All of that being said, we have changed the offensive coordinator. We have changed the offense. We've gotten rid of your biggest competition to make you feel comfortable. Everything has been done to build a runway for Deshaun Watson's takeoff in Cleveland. So I feel a little differently about this now knowing the line was 221. To be perfectly honest, Vegas barely misses. And when they miss, they don't miss by 30 yards.
For his career, Jay,
Yeah.
in his 6 season debuts, these are from Anthony Lima, he tweeted this out, he averages in his 6 season debuts 181 yards per game.
That's awful. Now, again, this is why I'm taking the over. And I feel a little scary about that now because I thought you took the betting line, and I thought if Vegas feels it's 251, I'm comfortable with him exceeding that. Now that I know Vegas feels it's 221, I'm a little more concerned about it. But here's the reality of the situation. We brought in a top-flight receiver to help him out. He's already got another top-flight receiver. He's got a tight end coming off a career year. Nick Chubb is not coming through the front door. you've got to throw the ball. All eyes are on you, and the pressure is on high. You better throw for more than 251. You better.
I'll say this. One of the things that I look at is, and I think a lot of people don't take it into consideration is, there's a lot of people that's riding with him. There's a lot of people that want to go out there and make sure he does have a great game. I know Joe Bitonio and Wyatt Teller and the guys up front, Jack Conklin and Jed Wills, they weren't hurrying back just to hang out. They're hurrying back because they know they got a damn good football team. There's a lot of people, and this is the thing, I don't want to reduce this just down to a Deshaun Watson conversation, because I think that does a disservice to professional sports and team sports in general. It's 11 people that's pouring into one another, that's really got each other's back. And if you want to go down the line, the Cleveland Browns as a whole, all of them got something to prove. You think Jerry Jeudy don't think that he want to prove people in Denver wrong? You don't think Amari Cooper want to prove a lot of people wrong? He's playing against the Cowboys. He's looking around and people getting contracts. He didn't get one. You don't think that Nick Chubb is chomping at the bit to get back? Hey, David Njoku is looking at over the line of scrimmage at Micah Parsons, and Micah Parsons been sneak dissing the Browns for years. You don't think he want to get a chance? These dudes is ready to go, and yes, Deshaun has to play well. But I think there's a lot of people on this team that have his back, and a lot of people on this team believe that they can do something great this year. So I think there's 10 other dudes that's going to step up, and I think 250 is it's 250. He might get 300.
Knowing his average on the starter is 181 on the opener.
Yeah, he
That's
starts the
terrifying.
season slow.
That
it's
is
a bad trend for
Now,
Deshaun.
in
Terrifying.
fairness, that counts his first game ever as a rookie, which
Yeah.
is his first
Right.
and
Throw
it
that one
counts
out.
his first game back from suspension, from missing a year and
Throw
then
that
11
one out.
year. So
But
that's
last
going
year's season opener, he was ready.
right.
Bad
he had the
weather.
run up.
And now,
Yeah,
you can
But it
always
was
come up
bad-
with an
it was bad
excuse.
conditions. It was rainy.
Hey, but if he come in and throw for that 300, I need that script to change. I need that. Listen, I need at least 25 minutes of that 300 McNuggets. We ain't gonna skim over it. We not gonna
If
do
Deshaun
four.
plays well, I can promise you, in our 2.5-hour show on Monday,
35.
there will be a large majority of it devoted to Deshaun.
Well, guys,
Watson.
think back to the
It's the
Baltimore
biggest
game.
story.
Yeah.
What did we do after the Baltimore game? We threw a
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson
Yeah.
parade.
Deshaun Watson's performance every week is the biggest story besides the win and the loss.
And it always
Yeah.
will be, because he's the quarterback,
Yeah,
and
that's right.
that's the way the cookie crumbles.
right.
So I'm a yes, but with an
right.
asterisk.
All right, Mike.
Second fence rider. This one's a dead even split, 4-4.
I don't know why you keep saying that. Why do you tell us beforehand? Why don't you just show it?
It's a good point. I'm a little rusty. First time I've done it all year. What number's higher? Zeke's total rushing yards.
This was good.
Or the
I liked
longest
it.
field goal.
This was
made in the game?
creative.
What number did you guys use as the longest
That
field
was
goal?
a Super
Hold
Bowl,
on.
like a Super Bowl
I sent
prop.
that to him. Let me see.
I had 52 as the
I used
field goal.
55.
Okay.
I don't care what the number is.
What did I say?
So
doesn't matter.
you're confident he's going to exceed it.
No, I went the other way.
Well, what if the number? What if there's a 31-yard field goal and that's the only one?
I don't think
had
Zeke's
this.
going over 35 yards.
Yeah, so it was easy for me because even using 55, guys, what do we think this is?
He's Kareem Hunt. He's
Hey,
that
Bull,
He's
by
simple.
the way-
Kareem Hunt.
He's
You
got
can
3
turn
wheels
back
and
the
one of
clock.
them's flat.
And Bull, by the
Yeah,
way, the
it's
reason
just
I have
not
to tell
gonna
you if it's a
happen.
split or what the thing is because you guys have already given analysis. I haven't even
That's
showed
true.
you the
Let's
result.
see it. So just show it.
Here's the result. It was a 4-4 dead even split. Myself, Jay, Dustin, and Tyvis.
The
went
2
with Zeke.
Buckeyes went with Zeke.
Yeah, how
Shocking.
about that?
You went with Zeke.
Oh yeah. No,
Jay.
no.
Oh, you
No.
thought
Did I go with Zeke?
You went with Zeke, yeah.
Oh, I changed my mind. I don't think he's going to do it.
Okay.
I
got
don't
a-
think he's going to do it.
I got a 56-yard field goal.
That's the danger of doing these things in 3 seconds.
And
Right.
Zeke gets 47 yards.
And what will the longest field goal be?
56.
Ooh.
I had 52-yard field goal and 39 yards for Zeke.
It's a great question.
Yeah.
Like
It
was
is. I liked
really
it a lot.
creative.
That's like a Super Bowl
I liked it so
prop
much I
right
answered
there,
it both
yeah.
ways.
And
But I do feel comfortable now in saying that he's just not going to do it. He's just at 50. If we get a 55-yard or even a 50-yard field goal,
Yeah.
they've got a kicker that made a 70-yard field goal.
That's true.
not to go back to the Watson thing, but I looked at my numbers. I had him at 257, so don't get it twisted. Like it was like 5 over the
Oh,
target.
listen, I have the 251 and a half.
I got 257.
I have all I could do to
Right.
pull him over the 259.
right.
Right. Okay.
It
There we
is,
go.
it is September. The weather should be beautiful. It's not the wind isn't as
Yeah.
much of a factor in that stadium
And
in
I think
September.
the Cowboys are down their best ball hawking defensive back.
Yeah.
And and we know that if there was an off-season tug of war between Kevin's philosophy and Deshaun's philosophy, I believe Deshaun won.
Oh, he did.
So we better, and we know what Deshaun wants to do.
Yeah.
He wants to heave the football.
That's right.
So I think he's going to have 30-plus attempts, and I think he'll go over 250.
All right, next Mike.
Next one.
This was a good one,
The
too.
battle of two of the best pass rushers in the NFL, Myles and Micah. Who has more sacks? Bull, you want to take a guess on how this voting went out?
8-0.
Steve, the reveal? Everyone said Myles.
Oh, my God.
Well,
Which
That's-
scares
that-
me.
That's a guarantee,
That's a
Micah.
homer. That's a homer still right there.
well, I took 2 seconds on that one because Myles always plays well in September. That's his best month.
That's a
He
great
is,
point.
He is the greatest September pass rusher in the history of the sport.
Wait,
Mr. September.
Y'all so
and hold on.
Y'all so
Reggie Jackson was Mr. October.
I want to
Y'all
build
so
something real quick.
disrespectful.
When we get to the 5 stats, not only is September lining up for Myles Garrett to have a monster game, wait till you see the other factors that if whatever the odds are on Myles sacks, based on his history, I'm telling you, take the over. We're going to get to that in about 25 minutes.
Are you talking like specifically about the lines that he's going to go against?
You'll
Offensive lines?
see.
Okay.
You'll see. This is
Okay.
a perfect matchup. All the stars have aligned for a 5-sack Myles Garrett.
I got to Myles. It took me more than 2 seconds. Because Mike is also going to have some softness on the Browns' offensive line.
No.
And
He gonna get a sack. I got mine.
we
move
ran a
him
soundbite yesterday from Micah talking about
the assassin, the
how,
killer.
how he's looking at this season. And I really like Micah Parsons. I don't know if
Oh,
I've
yeah.
said that before. And I don't mean as a player. I mean as a person. I watched the whole interview, and I just thought he was effusive in his praise on Myles Garrett. Just couldn't have said enough positive about Myles Garrett. But he also said, I'm going to tell you the truth. When we played the Rams, I'm looking over there to see what Aaron's doing. And if he's got 2, I have to get 3. And I like that mentality.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah,
do.
sure.
I'm
I got
sure
Myles-
Myles is going to do the same thing.
I got Myles Garrett with 3 sacks. And I got, I just forgot his name.
Micah
Parsons.
Parsons.
Micah Parsons, jeez. With 2.
And we didn't even mention, Myles is going against the team he loved. So he's going to be
That's
extra
true.
motivated. He's
I
going to
didn't
be
even.
extra
I
motivated
never
for
thought
that.
of that until right
I
now.
got
but
Myles
you're right.
and 2 rookie offensive linemen.
Myles Garrett 2.5. Michael Parsons 1.5.
Okay, I'll take any of those combos.
All right, next question. We talked to Zeke a little bit. The question, this is bigger picture. Will either team rush for 100 or more yards in the game? And this answer was a dead even split, 4-4. Earl, G, Jason, and Jay said yes. A team will rush for over 100. Myself, Dustin, Bull, and Tyvis said no.
I went back and forth on this.
I did too.
I've landed on yes because of the quarterbacks. Because I think both quarterbacks are going to be on the move.
Add to the team running totals.
And that might put it over the top.
Yeah,
That's really running backs. No, if the question was running backs,
I wouldn't have got there
for
either
100.
with just running backs.
I couldn't have got. I would have said no.
I mean, both teams' rushing games, if you look at the rosters and the players that they have, they're below average.
Yeah.
Both of them.
and 2 really good defenses.
And 2 good defenses.
I don't
But
tr-
I think the quarterbacks are going to be a big
I don't-
factor.
Dak doesn't
running the
run.
ball.
Well,
Their D tackles ain't that good.
I'm not saying 50
Their D
yards.
tackles
Yeah.
not good. Listen, I got them running for 112 yards. I got 30 of that coming from a quarterback. So that puts you, what?
72.
70-some yards? The Browns have to run the football. Like, they have to have that as a threat. They cannot come out here playing run and shoot offense. They got to have
Do you
the
think
threat.
we'll see that, though? Because
Yes.
I'm not sure we'll see
Yeah,
that.
listen, just because you're a passing team, sometimes you run to set up the pass.
Well, Baltimore did that really well last night.
So I need them to at least have the threat of the run.
And Jerome Ford broke a handful of big plays last
He
year.
did.
So one
Yeah.
big play and they'll get there.
Right.
You're right.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. What's next?
Next one. Will Amari Cooper and Jerry Jeudy combine for more receptions than CeeDee Lamb? Another dead even split, guys.
I'm
Full
shocked
shot.
by this.
Surprised.
I thought I'd be
everybody would have said yes.
I thought I'd be alone on the no side.
Nope. You're with me, Earl, and Jason.
The biggest stunner is Earl being on
Right?
that side because
Yeah,
Earl, is,
I'm really surprised by that.
Earl makes G look like not a homer because
So-
Earl is the biggest homer on the show.
Compared to, I'm a conservative.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So why are you a no?
Because I don't think Jerry Jeudy's going to get a lot of targets.
People don't think this is crazy. I'm
Gamble better.
gonna add Tyvis to it, McNuggets to it, now Bull to it. People don't expect much out of Jerry Jeudy this year. I just
you know
don't
why?
think they
Because
are.
the wide receivers we've brought in the past have been below what we expected.
It's 4 receptions.
But wait a second.
If Cooper and Jeudy get 4 apiece, that's 8.
Yeah, but I think
CeeDee
CeeDee Lamb getting
12.
double
Yes,
digits.
I think CeeDee's going
Deshaun
double
Watson
figures.
has barely played with Jerry Jeudy. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be low every week, G. I'm just saying this week, I'm expecting it to be like Cooper, Njoku, and the backs as the key. And I think CeeDee Lamb's going to get a ton of receptions. I think he's going to have double-digit receptions.
I got him at 7.
I do too.
Yeah.
I have them at 10 or 11, but
Yeah.
I want 6
I'm
from
with Jay.
Cooper and 6 from Jeudy.
So,
I have an
I'm
11.
sorry.
so where is Newsom and Ward at when he's getting 12 catches
Listen,
for
CeeDee Lamb
200
is
yards?
I didn't
top
say
5
200
receiver
yards.
in the NFL.
12
Some would say top
touches is a
3.
lot.
If you go off last year's defense, Emerson was on this side and Denzel was on that side, and they never moved. You had this side of the field, you had this side of the field. It doesn't matter where the receivers go. If the Browns play that way again, the Cowboys will move CeeDee around and get the matchups they want.
He plays
12
a ton
touches?
of slot. So, last year, real quick, just on the numbers. He played like 55% of his snaps from the slot. He had 181 targets last year. It was like 25 more than anyone else in the NFL.
Yeah,
He led the NFL with 135 receptions. He averaged almost 10 yards a reception. I mean, this dude's volume unmatched in the NFL.
It's incredible.
I get it.
I expect the Cowboys to throw. Listen, I think the Browns will be more balanced in this game than the Cowboys will be.
I agree with
With
that.
run and pass?
Yes.
The Cowboys have no run.
Well, yeah. Listen,
None.
that's not saying much with this team.
I-
Because
Cow-
Dallas, I don't know how Dallas is going to run the
And
ball.
plus, I expect it to be a relatively close game, so I don't think we're going to be in a situation where, Dallas is up big, so they're going to run.
Right.
I mean,
know.
you telling me that you're going to come to Cleveland
Yeah.
with one of the best defenses and Myles Garrett and the rookie tackle, and you're going to throw the ball 50, 60 times?
Yeah, but gee, the alternative
yeah.
is what?
60,
The
but-
alternative
Not
is
60,
handing it to
but
who?
45.
Who are you going to give it to?
I mean, they're like, they at least got to hand it to somebody. Like, I'm not going to let Myles Garrett just be out there running around because that's what's going to happen. Do you know what happens? Jim Schwartz will be like, okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We got 3 great corners, and we don't even care about the other. Who is the other receiver?
Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good player.
Ooh, wow.
Brandon Cooks is not Brandon Cooks of 6 years ago.
He's still a good player. He's a nice player.
I'd take him on
I mean,
Their
look,
tight end, solid. Ferguson, solid player.
solid. But listen, CeeDee Lamb, after the first 6 catches, we got to do something about that. He can't have 12. That's the only way they can win.
By the way,
If CeeDee Lamb has
he
over
could have 10 catches for 85 yards. It doesn't have to be a 200-yard
that's
game.
that's a lot of catches, man.
It is.
Hey, G, can I
he
give you a
does.
scenario of how I play this out in my mind?
All right, go ahead.
Dallas has no run game, so I think they're going to throw the ball a ton. I also don't think they can protect very long. I can see CD getting 15 receptions or 15 targets.
Quick hits.
And none of them are like a bunch of little bubble
Quick slants.
screens, a bunch of real quick slants.
Yep.
All
Get
underneath.
the ball in his hand.
And as good as the Browns secondary is, I mean, CeeDee Lamb's elite also. So, you know.
He's good.
So he's going to make plays.
And we've
CeeDee
seen-
Lamb's a better receiver than the Browns have a corner, right? Like CeeDee Lamb, if you were
Yes.
he's
yes,
a better-
Ward's, I think Ward's close.
Ward is close, but
But-
I think CeeDee Lamb's top 5 receiver and maybe top 3.
100%.
They're gonna,
I think he's top 3.
They're gonna if the Browns play the scheme they did last year, which we don't know if they will, but Denzel had this side of the field and Emerson had that side of the field. If they do that again Sunday,
Did they do
Yeah.
that 100% of the time?
quite a bit.
Because I
quite a
feel
bit.
like I do remember, they not often, but it seems I do remember they follow guys in motion.
Denzel
If
went
your
the slot a
man-
couple times, but for the most part, they played each side of the
That's
field.
their tendency.
Yeah,
And
That's
that
how
was
Schwartz
last
has
year.
always played, by the way.
Yeah, I know. It's
So,
what he likes
so
to do. But
Dallas is going to move CD around. They're not just going to leave him
Sure.
one-on-one.
Okay. Man,
And
I
if he's
can't
in
wait
the
for
slot
this. I
a
wish
lot,
this game was kicking off right
It's
now.
CD versus Newsom in the slot.
All right, it's been good
Last
so
fence
far.
rider.
Yeah.
2 of the best kickers in football last year. Brandon Aubrey was the best kicker in football. Missed 1 kick all season. Dustin Hopkins was tremendous. An incredible trade by Andrew Berry. First game of the season in Cleveland Browns Stadium, which I'm not calling the Hunt or the Bank. It is
Good.
Cleveland Browns Stadium. Will either kicker miss a kick on
yeah.
Sunday?
yeah.
Earl, Jason, and Jay said yes. Tyvis, myself, Bull, and Dustin all said no.
The odds are that they'll make all their they'll make more than they miss, right?
Yeah,
but
sure.
What happened the very first attempt of the season was Justin Tucker, wide left.
Shanked it.
Well, it was his first
didn't
attempt.
shank it.
It wasn't the first attempt of the game.
It was his first attempt.
Right, his first
Yeah.
attempt. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, it was the first field goal attempt of the season.
No, I'm pretty sure Butker had already hit 2, hadn't he?
No, I thought the miss was
Well, field
very
goal, but
early
it was
in the game.
they had made extra points.
I actually thought I answered.
I think that was
no.
his very first kick of the season. Weren't they down 7-0?
No, it was set.
Well, I'm misremembering the way
The
the game
Ravens
played
scored a
out then.
touchdown
And
first.
this is what we call splitting hairs.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
no,
point-
I mean, it was the first field goal of the season.
The
for
point
him,
is they
for
got
sure, and he
it's-
missed it.
It's 2 good kickers. Seems like perfect weather conditions.
Right.
Of course, there could always be a miss.
Now,
but
it is one of the trickiest stadiums to kick in. I'm not sure what the wind's going to
Well,
be.
that's
but-
why I was actually talking about the kicking earlier. When it's September, the winds don't swirl as much as they do
Right.
November, December. It should be a little easier to
Exact
kick
weather
in.
forecast.
I actually thought I picked
68.
I thought I said no, but
Mostly
either
sunny.
way, you could get
Small
a kick
chance
at
of
the
rain.
end of the first half,
Yeah.
going into halftime. You try line up from 54,
Sure, it
55,
happens.
weird
Now,
things
these
happen.
two kickers were wildly accurate last
I
year.
Yeah, but typically Dustin is not a long range. I don't know where that came from last year. He must have been.
he had been terrible from long distance
Yeah,
before
but
last
that was
year.
his
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
He came in and just blasted some long kicks.
Yeah, he did.
I think he's going to make an extra point.
According to WKYC weather,
Yeah.
1 p.m. on Sunday is expected to be sunny, 65 degrees, winds northwest at 12 miles an hour.
Oh, that's okay.
But-
That's
but we
that's
play at 4, though.
Pretty.
Yeah, nobody cares about 1.
Oh, I'm
We need
sorry.
4:30.
Fourth,
Get your shit
correction,
together,
4:30.
Hey, if he's going to call you out,
Yeah, hey, listen.
Absolutely fair.
McNuggets
I don't
was-
care.
McNuggets was waiting. I got him.
What am I, some soft ass who can't take a
No!
criticism?
All right, get to the
And you take
4:30.
Yeah, 4 o'clock. You're right. I can't do 4:30 because it only is 4 or 5. So I'll
Fair.
say 4 o'clock. Sunny, 67.
Actually, four is irrelevant because they're not playing yet. Give me 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Thank you.
Sunny, 68.
wow, it's getting warmer.
Yeah.
Get warmer. Winds northwest at 12 miles an hour.
That's like
and the
dome
wind's
weather.
going down as the hours go down.
Which it usually does.
That's
in the
So it's
evening.
going to be mid to upper 60s the whole game.
That's dome weather with stiff air conditioning.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
right.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're right. I mean, it's almost perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect.
close
It's
as you can
perfect
get,
football
perfect.
weather.
And Quincy said the velocity on Deshaun Watson's
Yeah.
ball is it's through the roof. It's as high as it's ever been.
That's right.
So it's going to cut
Better
through
be.
the win anyway.
Let's go.
Let's win this thing.
We're gonna